Imagine being so convinced of your destiny that you'd face an army at 17. That's the story of Joan of Arc, and trust me, it's wilder than any movie you've seen. Picture this: medieval France, early 1400s. A teenage girl who can't even read or write claims she's hearing voices from God. Now, normally people would laugh it off, right? But here's the thing: France was desperate. The English had been winning the 100 Years' War, and hope was running thin. So when this farm girl shows up saying she's been chosen by God to lead the French army, you'd think they'd show her the door. Instead, something extraordinary happened. After questioning her for weeks, they actually gave her a shot. Picture that confidence: a 17-year-old girl convincing battle-hardened generals to let her lead their armies. And then she delivered spectacularly. Dressed in white armor, riding a white horse like something out of a legend, Joan led the French army to Orléans. This city had been under siege for months with no end in sight. Seasoned commanders had tried and failed to break it. But Joan, she did it in just 9 days. Her presence was electric. Soldiers who'd lost all hope suddenly found their courage. The tide of the war began to turn, and the English, who'd seemed invincible, started to lose their grip on France. But success breeds enemies, and Joan's meteoric rise made her powerful rivals jealous. In a cruel twist of fate, she was captured, not by the English, but by her own countrymen who sold her to the enemy. The betrayal must have stung worse than any battle wound. What happened next shows the true measure of her character. Standing alone in court, facing hostile judges who'd already decided her fate, she remained unshakable. They tried to break her, to make her deny her visions, to admit she was a witch or a heretic. But this illiterate teenager outmaneuvered trained theologians with answers so clever they survive in court records today. The end came in 1431. They burned her at the stake, a horrible death for anyone, let alone a 19-year-old girl. Her last word was simply Jesus. But here's the thing about Joan: even in death, she proved her critics wrong. 20 years later, they reviewed her trial and declared her innocent. Centuries later, she was made a saint. Think about it. She was just 19 when she died, younger than most college students today. She couldn't read, couldn't write, had no formal education or military training. Yet she changed the course of history, inspired millions, and became a symbol of courage that still burns bright today. Sometimes the most extraordinary stories come from the most unlikely places. Joan of Arc reminds us that age, education, and background don't determine your impact. What matters is conviction, courage, and the willingness to stand up for what you believe in, even when everyone else thinks you're crazy.